All right, how is everyone?
Hey guys.
We gave Tony a little bit of grace period in there. Like to give everybody time because there's plenty of time. There's plenty of time because Clint's Street Machines got 1,000 subs this morning.
Yeah, thanks a bunch, guys. Good night.
How cool was that? Yeah, right. So this is just taking a victory lap. We're glad you guys are in here.
Yeah.
What do we have in the house?
It's like everybody's here.
Best. Yeah, there's all kinds of folks in here.
Whole lot of no name,
Wood Shop, Big Richard's World, John Trudell, Smacky's here. Big Block 402. Boy, you're getting close. Yep, the Dutch Guy's Garage.
Yeah.
Leighton Welding. Leighton Welding, you know, at this rate, you're not going to make 500 this year. You could do it. You could. But if you don't, you'll have a great head start on the next year. And you can certainly still come out and spectate. Or you can put the nitrous to your video making efforts and you could make this year.
Yeah.
Ryan Barsness, he's still in here, man.
Yep.
Yep. We were giving Tony a little time to wrap. John Mounts, Don English. Should have known Don would let me know. Two Hacks Jeff, Lunar Outlaw, Emily B.
Hey, that's my missus.
There you go. Yeah, the missus. That's right. Miss Street Machine. Mr. Will, NSB. NSB, you seen Andy yet? I know Andy's coming down your way. Ryan wants to get to 1,000 for the No Name Nationals. Well, there's plenty of time. You can do it.
106 days.
Yep. There's 1 hour and 42 and a half minutes left in day 106 if you're in the East. And for you guys on Central Time, that means you just got an extra hour. But it doesn't really count because the track is on Central Time. Do you like how that works?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Two Hacks will stick to 1,000 by end of July. Yeah, you can totally do that.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Really, that's awesome. I appreciate it. All the congratulations. I really do appreciate it. It's awesome.
Yeah, this is great. This is great. You know, it took us the first time we did one of these. I think it took us about, I don't know, it took us about 30 minutes to get whatever subs we needed to get. And then it took us 7, and then it took us 2. And this time it took us negative 12 hours. So I'm tickled to death. The community is so mobilizing over this. It's wonderful.
That was the first time I've ever watched my sub count and going, slow down, slow down.
No, it works great. It works. Yeah. I would take it this way every time.
Now, I still need another 40 hours or so of watch time, but otherwise we're there.
Well, another 40 hours? Oh, you got that.
Oh, yeah, it's nothing.
40 hours is filming one big bent rim on a pothole. That's all you need for 40 hours.
Right? I should just do a 40-hour live stream tomorrow or something.
If you did that, yeah, you could. But, you know, the thing is you look like Weekend at Bernie's by the end of it. And
yeah,
then people wonder what your channel's all about.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Lunar Outlaw Garage, I have to say this great race is awesome. I'm assuming that's the Hemmings Great Race. Replica of the Bluesmobile to the Austin Martin DB6.
Oh.
Sounds like quite an affair.
Yes.
Unfinished project, saying 15 Saturdays until the No Name Nationals.
Thanks, Evans Mopars.
There's a guy who's making a lot of progress.
Yeah.
I think Scott with an S needs 114. I did stats this afternoon. He was at 386.
If there's anybody here I'm not sub to, I'll get to you guys. I promise.
Yeah. Lunar, I'm trying. And for every person who gets it and appreciates it, and I appreciate them, we got one little fire to put out, it seems. It's just the nature of trying to do anything. But yeah. It's going great. It's going great.
Yeah.
Don says 30 days till Carlisle. Yes, there are. I have been making Carlisle plans today, and Don will get a kick out of them. Shopcat slugging his way to 500. Shopcat, I would love for you to come make it to the No Name Nationals. I know that I think that you were leaning toward it was too far, which is cool, but still like to get you to 500 and still like you to come if you could.
Yeah.
Danny Boy missed 4 minutes. Well, actually, we started at 10:15. We were giving Dallas and Tony time to wrap up.
Who's coming the farthest, by the way, John? Do you know yet?
We've got several people coming over 2,000 miles, and one of them I know I mapped out is 2286.
Is that the guy in
And
Washington?
yeah, we got some coming from a long way.
Yeah.
I don't think we have anybody from Mexico registered yet.
Hmm.
I was hoping so, because that would give us 4 countries.
It's so weird because everyone goes there to test their cars.
Yeah, right, exactly. And they're back home by dinner.
Yeah.
That's even more amazing.
It's awesome.
Hey, Don English. So did your credentials have on it 3 spots for cars identifying as 62 Valiants? So here's the deal. Don English has my space reservation for Carlisle. And his reservations are for 3 62 Plymouth Valiants, because he has 2 62 Plymouth Valiants, and I have a vehicle that will self-identify as a 62 Valiant. We're just going to see what we can get away with.
Checking out the comment.
Yeah, Shopcat says he'd hitch a ride with Nolan, but he can't get out of work. Yeah, I understand. I mean, everybody's situation is different, so we get that. Heavens Mopard says he let Levi pass him. I can't let him beat me to 500. Well, Levi's at 437 as of this afternoon.
Yeah, I see 2 Hacks is getting much closer to that Thunderbird running.
Yep. Oh, yeah. That's going to be cool. Car got a lot of soul. What's a neat car?
It is. That is not, you don't see those every day, especially with the tunnel ram in them.
The people who are not familiar, tell us about this S10. Because I've seen, yeah. Give us an overview.
All right. So basically, the channel started with this truck. When I decided to do the channel in earnest 2.5 years ago, I started just doing old footage I had filmed for my Nissan build because I had planned on doing YouTube much earlier. So I started with that, ran through that about 12 episodes or something, and then going through a bunch of transitional stuff at the house as far as cars and our living situation. So I decided to just work on the S10, doing cheap budget type stuff to it. And it's now it's snowballed into a shell that's getting a big black Chrysler in it with a tunnel ram. And it's got a Ford 9-inch in the back of it and some big fat tires. And I'm trying to build my own frame, which is what I'm agonizing over at the moment. And then it's going to get custom wiring harness. It's kind of an 80s build. It's going to be about shaving weight as much as possible to get my performance out.
I think that's really cool. And that's something that is not necessarily understood well enough. Like,
yeah,
when people do a build, I like for people to do a build, but have a purpose for the time in which it's built.
Yeah.
So if you look at a build, can you tell that it's an old car that was built in 2015 or is an old car built in the 80s?
Yeah.
I like it when somebody tries to build it in the spirit and the style of an older build.
Yeah.
Like really do it right. Like, for example, my old race car, it will not have any LEDs.
Mm-hmm.
It won't run drag radials because it didn't have drag radials in the 80s.
Oh,
right?
right.
And so that kind of thing. I don't want it to look like it's paying tribute to the old cars. I want it to look like it, just like it did when it rolled off the trailer to race in the 80s.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's
what I'm going for.
Yeah. No, I like that.
Your own frame rails.
I'm sorry?
That's pretty freaking. If you build your own frame rails, that's pretty freaking cool.
Well, it's easier said than done.
Are you gonna get a kit, like a pre-bent kit?
No,
are you just gonna...
I don't think I can. If you look at all the cars that use back half kits and things like that, they're all sitting about 8 to 12 inches off the ground. You know, all your drag cars, they're sitting way up there. And I'm trying to get this thing low rider status.
Yeah.
But with the giant meats in it and the big block and everything. So I got to be really careful. I got to make it strong enough to fit under the body basically, but still, be triangulated and whatnot. It's rough. It's tough. That's what's taken me the longest on this project is designing what I'm going to do with the frame.
Is it going to be a ladder bar or a 4-link or you going to do it with leaf springs?
Well, I'm going to get into that on my next episode because I bought ladder bars and I found an issue with them. So they're going to have to go back. And now I'm kind of rethinking the whole thing.
Okay.
I'm leaning towards maybe a triangulated 4-link at this point, but I'll explain all my thought process.
Okay, sure. Okay, because I actually saw a guy do that once, and he used a modified torque arm from a Camaro.
Yeah.
And he did it in a pickup so that he could get it way down low. Mm-hmm. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's I've been looking at not lowrider, but like mini truck suspensions lately. It's still got to be strong enough because someday I might put some horsepower in that big block.
Yep.
But
Tell us about the big block.
all right.
That's
Well,
my favorite thing.
Yeah. I've always been a Mopar guy since I was a little kid, but I never could afford them. So I've been building Chevys all these years. And I always wanted to build a big block stroker, and I found the 400 to be like the best engine to build a stroker out of. So a buddy of mine happened to be selling one, so I picked it up. And then when I decided to do this project, I started picturing it as like a drag car. And nothing looks more dragster to me than a big black Chrysler with the distributor on the front, and the giant, just the size of it, the physical size of the engine and the length of the valve covers and all that. So I just thought that would have a really good look sitting in there, and it'd give it the big block, torque.
See, what I like is the whole chat is going, okay, that's the catch. That's why Clint's on here.
Yeah. That's how I cheesed my way into the Mopar crowd.
No, I like that. I like it's something different. I actually like those first generation S10s.
Mm-hmm.
I like them so much better than before they made the front end pointed.
Yeah.
Don't know what it is, but I think they're cool trucks. I even like the really early ones, early 80s, that were really square.
Yeah.
Good looking trucks.
Well, they look like a miniature C10, so that's what's so cool about them. They got that same style.
Yeah, I like them a lot.
Yeah.
I see Ed is in the chat and Buzz has joined us. Danny Boyd is here. I kind of feel like Danny Boyd is a bouncer. I think he'd make a good one. TMO card. Hey, how about Dizzy Izzy here? Dizzy Izzy's gotten, he's jumped up 39 subscribers here in a few days.
Oh, that's good.
How about that?
That's real good.
He's charging to the front. I think he leapfrogged about 4 or 5 other participants. How cool is that?
That is. And I got to apologize for not being 100% up to date on all your guys' channels. Between trying to build my truck and subscribing to like 200 guys, it's pretty hard to keep up.
Well, it has become hard to keep up because there are just so many channels. And, Just Mopar Joe did boost him. So Dallas gave him a boost shooting a video. It was on Dizzy's channel, and Joe shot a little video for Joe's channel, and that's a big boost.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I'll see a small channel that doesn't want a big channel to do something. Like, man, you're giving up a dollar to keep a dime when you're doing that. Anytime a big channel wants to do something for your projects, you should do it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I had a little help early on from an S10 channel that's got I think he's at 4,500 subscribers, and that gave me a nice little boost a couple times. Had a couple other YouTubers do that for me.
Yeah, I remember. I won't mention the channels, but I remember a dude with a van didn't want to do a collaboration with a channel that was 100 times bigger than his, and I'm like, man, you know what? I mean, it's like you should do it. You should jump on that opportunity.
Oh, absolutely. That's how the people who are into what you're doing are going to find you.
That's right.
You're just waiting for the YouTube algorithm. You're going to be waiting a while.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. I mean, it takes a while for the YouTube to get everything out to everybody.
Yeah. It makes sense. When you look at the staggering numbers of video being uploaded every day, it's amazing. It works at all.
I would agree. Joe's a great dude.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Dallas had the Angry Vagrant t-shirt on. That was cool. And we have a Mostly Old Parts and Rust, and we have a Mostly Old Parts, 2 different channels. Mostly Old Parts and Rust is Patrick. Mostly Old Parts is Ron Ward. So Patrick is the rusty version of Ron Ward. Who knew?
Yeah, I don't think I'm subbed to Mostly Old Parts.
Yes. 2 different channels. Mostly Old Parts has a 68 Roadrunner. Really rusty. And that's the irony, is that Mostly Old Parts Roadrunner is really rusty. Like, you wouldn't want to take that car through a car washer. You'd lose a quarter rusty, right?
Yeah.
But Mostly Old Parts and Rust, that's a Dick Landy Duster that has no discernible rust at all. Go figure, right?
No kidding.
Both are good guys. Both are very good guys.
Yeah. Well, anyone with a Duster is okay in my book.
That's it. Jason's Garage in the house. Good to see you, man. So what's your plan coming up? You got 106 days. You planning to bring the S10 to Sykeston?
Yeah.
Assuming.
The plan is to. I never thought that I would get it running by then. But the plan has always been to at least get it on some sort, get it to a rolling chassis situation. And if I can get the engine started, that's great. But I just want to be able to bring it out there so anybody that's seen it on the channel can come out and check it out and actually look up close, because everything looks really good on video. But you get up close, you start seeing all that booger welts and stuff. So just trying to keep it honest.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many builds going on right now.
Yeah,
that's the thing. I mean, we thought about how to do registrations for this. You can't register by car.
Yeah.
There are people who are going to come to this event who probably haven't even found the car they're bringing yet, and they're already registered. So that's just the nature of YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, my goal is that if there's a No Name Nationals #2 next year, I'll be looking to do some racing and some calling out and all that.
Ryan here found the clunking in the front of the road runner and the ball joints are wasted. Well, that happens.
That does.
They're not too bad to put in.
At least you caught it before they let go.
At least it's not a Chevrolet with those press-in ball joints. Those to me are miserable.
Yeah.
Especially on a big truck, like a big 1-ton truck.
That they are.
Yeah, Dad, I saw that on Tony's chat. But if you can rally for next year, we'd like to have you there. Yeah, Buff's saying that's me. He resembles that remark. He hasn't found a car yet. Yeah, there's a lot of guys in that situation who haven't found a car yet.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Tape over the National Rent-A-Car sticker on the back there and just drive that.
Yeah, we're not validating registration, so I wouldn't be surprised if something like that shows up.
Yeah.
So Dad has some Northeast Canada. We have a lot of guys from Central and Western Canada. I think we have some Northeast Canada too.
There's some good channels come out of Canada.
Yeah, we've got either 3 provinces, maybe 4. Be fun to get at least half of them.
Yeah. It would be. No international then? You said no Mexico, but no one else international?
I don't think, I'd have to look. I don't think we have anybody registered coming from Mexico. We do have spectators coming from Australia, and we have participants from Canada.
All right.
So we've got 3 countries represented there so far, unless we could have more, but I know of 3 right now.
Thank you, Patrick.
Good night, JB. Always good to see you.
Night, JB.
JB
Yeah,
is right up on that 500.
Yeah, he is.
It's a 2-day drive. Yeah, the Canadians are all making a long, and some of these guys from like Washington State and Oregon, California, Phoenix. I mean, Phoenix is 22 hours.
Yeah.
That's no short drive.
No.
Isn't Duddy from Mexico? Close enough. I don't know how close Duddy is to Mexico, but I think he's the closest to Mexico registered so far.
Was he in like El Paso or something?
Look how well liked JB is.
Yeah.
And for good reason. I'm a JB's Little Shop fan.
Yep, I watch it too.
NSB's working some problems out at the rear. That in the dark.
That's on that Super B, right?
Yeah, see? Patrick tells us that his Duster has some rust, but not much.
Cool. Well, a little bit's just lightning things.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Are you planning on doing a tunnel ram with your big block in the S10?
Yeah, it was one of the spare parts I had laying around. So now I got to find some carburetors, figure that out.
Yep. I saw it mocked up, but I wasn't completely sure if that's what you were planning to run.
Oh, I'm planning on running it. Probably terrible idea, but I'm as much concerned with form as I am with function on this thing. I want it to look as good as it. I want it to look better than it is, actually.
Well, I'll tell you, when it comes to tunnel ram tuning, I don't know anybody better than Andy Wood.
Oh no, I'd be happy to become Andy's new best friend.
Well, I have the carbs that came off of his truck.
Oh, nice. So those
Yeah,
those
so
660s.
these already have the transfer slot restriction.
Okay.
These are already tuned. I mean, they're tuned for mileage, but they're going on a race car, so it's not like we'll ever realize that. But this is the kind of setup you want to do, and he needs to do a video just on that. I think it will be really fascinating.
Yeah, because I saw he's up in Uncle Tony tune his and whatnot, but I'd like to see a video where he goes into depth on how you tune a
Yeah,
pair of carbs for a tonal ram.
it is cool. It is cool.
I've been looking
He'll
for
probably
the
do it.
24s, but they're pretty pricey.
My guess is he'll do it real soon because he's got a pair of Dominators on his new engine. And oh no, actually no, they've already had the transfer slot restriction done. They were done before they were on the dyno. I was gonna say, I thought he might have had a video on that coming up, but
Oh, okay.
he'll do one eventually.
Yeah. No, Andy's a wealth of the good information.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
He'd probably be in here, except I know he's on vacation right now.
Is he? Yeah.
He's in Florida. His ears are probably burning. He may stick his head in on. He doesn't know I'm live, I guess. This is kind of an odd hour live, but we wanted to come here and celebrate, but if you still needed subs, we will come here and get that done too.
Yeah.
But the community took care of that for us. So
they did. You guys really stepped up for me. I appreciate it.
For those of you who are just now getting here, obviously this live, the idea was to get Clint over 1,000 subscribers. Just a good milestone for him. He's been working hard, making great content. But the community rallied and say, hey, we're going to get it there before the live. And they did. And man, you jumped from 975 to 1,000 pretty quick.
Yeah, I think when you announced it, I was at 978.
Something like that.
Right
Something
there,
large.
Yeah. And then within 3 or 4 days, we were there.
The community's amazing, though.
This is a great community. This is exactly what I love about YouTube is regular folks getting together and helping each other out.
Dad said I checked and calculated everything. How much with gas with his 66 Char Chief? Yeah, because gas is cheaper in the United States. Yeah, for now. Yeah, I know. You gotta figure out if it's possible. But we'll keep working toward it.
Thanks, Buzz.
Yeah, I really appreciate Buzz. Buzz is he has worked with us through all the details of this event, and it would not be everything it is without Buzz. So
I'm impressed.
Really glad he's here. What's that?
I'm impressed with how many people he helps, and he even helped me with. He didn't ask for anything in return. It's just
no. Right. Not only is he not asked for anything in return, that's not even part of his contract. He's doing that because that's just what people of good character do. Yeah. He's like, this is in my skill set, and I can do it to make the event better, and I want to be involved. Just does it. I think a lot of people don't even realize that he's doing that as a volunteer, but the event wouldn't be the same without it. So, yeah, I'm just tickled to death.
Hey, Big Mike's is here.
Big Mike's Hoopty Barn here because Clint's the man. There you go. Right. Big Mike is just relieved that he no longer has the 500 subscriber monkey on his back.
That had to create a little anxiety, I would think, being real close. I got to admit, I signed up after I had 500 when I signed up.
Daddy's Money Garage. Austin, let me ask you. So do you have mushrooms that you tap into before you post in chats? I mean, because some of this stuff, I don't know how a sophisticated, educated young man like yourself comes up with this. I'm undertaking a highly sophisticated project of untold magnitude. The planning was extensive. Basically, I'm forcing Garrett to dig in my backyard with a hand shovel until he hits oil.
You need a shotgun. Didn't you learn anything from the Beverly Hillbillies?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. You know, you're right. It is. It is you normally. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, I like that project he's working on.
Have a good night, sir.
Night.
All in Tennessee, of oil in Tennessee.
Mm.
Yeah, if you dig deep enough, you can probably find oil just about anywhere, I think.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Especially if you dig through the core and keep going.
If you dig behind the gas station, it'll probably be pretty easy to find it.
Hey, Heavens Mopars, if you're going to build a dart sport, you have to tell unfinished project. Just saying. Oh boy, Levi went scrounging for parts an hour, and he's at 4:30. You're making a video now about every sub you are away from 500. Levi, what are you going to do with all this nervous energy when you hit 500? Are you going to take up jumping rope or something? Is that a challenge? Dig down till I find all. There was a spot where my dad would get rid of oil in the woods. He had like one particular place that he put it. Let me tell you, that spot is never going to rust. All right. Of course, this is a long time ago. People don't.
I'm sure
yeah, there you go.
Already.
Keep Levi straight, Scott. Scott with an S, as he says. Jason's got oil behind my garage. I have an old story I don't know if I should tell. Like one of these days.
What's the statute of
Has to do with a rental house. I got the deposit back. Okay, that's all that matters, right?
I can confirm my dad used oil as weed killer.
Yeah. Well, that was just a thing, back in the day. And then when they started recycling oil at Advance Auto, it started, he would take it there.
Yeah.
Which really has nothing to do with the environment. Advance wants to get the money for that recycled oil.
Right.
They probably pay Advance more for that oil than we paid for it when it was new 10, 20 years ago.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because they what do they call it when they they clean it up and use it again? I forget what they call it.
Some kind of recycling, but I don't know the word you're saying.
Yeah, there's a word for it.
Repurposed or something.
Yeah.
Reclaimed. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm posting all the stuff that will inflame the tree huggers. I've dumped enough on a hollow tree in my backyard. Could cash in and give BP a run for some money.
That's how you keep the
I know where Jed Clampett's well is, and it's in Bluefield. All right. Refined. Is that it? Reclaimed.
Refined. Reclaimed. Yeah. You used to call it something on the bottle. I don't remember what it was. One of those words.
Yeah, I guess you could do that. Hey, Buck's in the house.
Buck's in the house.
I've been passing my no-name 500 list to Buck so that when he does channel reviews, it helps out. And FYI, if you're not on the no-name 500 list, it's because one of two things. Either you're not registered at all, or you're registered, but you have more than 500 subs when you registered.
Yeah.
You'd think that'd go without saying, but yes, we have a big announcement coming on Friday.
Oh.
Dallas and I will be live on Friday.
And your channel
Central 8 Eastern. And we have a big announcement coming. We have several coming, actually, but this one will be a lot of fun. Be pretty cool.
Is that going to be on the AHRA channel, John, or here?
It'll be on mine. We're live on my channel, on this channel right here, every Friday, 7 Central, 8 Eastern, on this channel. And every other week, I'm with Dallas. And then every other week, alternating with that, I've got a guest on.
Ah.
Yes, exactly. Levi doesn't have 500, but he is registered. Therefore, he is on the list of the no-name 500 registrants.
Excellent. That list getting shorter?
Mostly old parts. If you're at 350, that means that you got something today.
Oh, thanks, Ed.
See, I actually look at this like every day. Yeah, you were at 349 this afternoon, so you've picked one up.
Nice. Yeah. Sorry, I can't subscribe more than once.
Ed's Machine says he thinks it was refined. Ed's probably right. Ed has been dealing with motor oil and such for a very long time.
Yeah,
Hey, Wendy, how's it going? Don will be in the hills of West Virginia Friday. What part of West Virginia? I'm assuming a part closer to where you live. Because I go to West Virginia regularly, but I go to the very southernmost part. I mean, the southernmost part. Dizzy's at 2:34.
Yeah.
Dizzy, this afternoon you were, 2:34. Right on.
12.
TI Mopar 26. Thank you. Subscribed. Well, hey, there is time. Job Hive Jeff / Two Hacks Garage. He proved that you can do it from scratch in 2 months because he did it in 2 months.
Yeah,
he proved you can do it. But if you don't make it this year, you have a huge head start on next year.
Absolutely.
Auto Salvage Outlaws. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Doing all right, sir. Middle of the state. You'll be around Charleston then, right? Have fun. Wear your body armor in South Charleston.
Yeah, I heard that 5 cars were stolen at the Power Tour in Memphis.
It's funny you say that. Not that there's anything funny about getting your car stolen. Just Mopar Joe's mom got her Challenger stolen in Memphis.
Yeah, we moved to Knoxville. We ruled Memphis out pretty early in the process.
Well, Memphis is rough. It's a war zone. But one of the guys who's coming to the No Name Nationals, you guys know him, Destroyer 1320. Yep. He's a popular channel here on YouTube. He actually makes an anti-theft device for those Challengers.
Oh.
And it's to my understanding, it stops the transmission neutral override. So you know how cars have those things? I think what he has gets rid of that feature to where it's so quick to access. So you can still use it, but it would just take more work than a thief who's under the gun trying under the clock to get it done can do really quickly.
Well, everything's drive-by-wire now, so that makes sense.
Yeah. To me, and more power to people who want to do stuff with the new Challengers. I've driven them. They're cool, but it's not my style, man.
Yeah.
Danny Boyd says Memphis is one place I won't go. New Orleans too. I was in Memphis not long ago, and I towed an enclosed trailer and parked it overnight in New Orleans in the quarter. How's that? I had that thing locked end to end.
Jeez. Well, when I was a young man and not very, I was pretty naive still, let's say. I moved to Los Angeles from farm country in upstate New York, and I left my open trailer parked on the street right behind the Hollywood Walk of Fame street there. It's been a while. Left it there all night, didn't know any better. Got up next morning, everything was still there. Then after about 2 weeks in LA, I realized I was lucky I had anything left.
Wow. Man. Big Mike says, I carry an anti-theft device with me. Well, I'll tell you. I carry 2 pistols every day, but I wouldn't use them to stop theft because that's a good way to go to jail. You can use them to stop an attack on your person of grievous bodily harm or death, the reasonable fear thereof. But I'll tell you what worked great in the court at New Orleans is my pit bull. I did not have one street person come up to me and try to get money with him. For some reason, they're like, nope, next. Worked out great. Yeah, exactly. It restricts access to the neutral release. Oh, yeah, they make that so easy on cars. It is so fast and easy to jump in and do that.
Not like in the old cars where you could just insert a screwdriver through a little slot and release the shifter. Is that kind of what we're talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
And Eric, Destroyer 1320 Eric, he will be at the No Name Nationals, and we'll be talking more about that product. I have a feeling.
Cool.
Austin's got 5 cars that he is going to get you Vermont titles for if you want to buy. See, when you make a cryptic post, they get to volunteer you for things.
Yeah, we know what you got too, Austin.
That Big Mike, that's an interesting area. That's an interesting
area.
One of these days, if you guys want to do it, just so we only talk about cars on here, but we all do different things, right? We all have different careers and stuff like that. And I've taught firearms professionally for a long time. So if we ever wanted to do some live about that kind of stuff, it might be interesting. So
yeah,
just throwing that out there. No dreamers. Right there. Doing is greater than dreaming.
Yep.
Yeah. Austin says a felony is just like the seasoning on the spice rack of life. Well, yeah, you would know, man. Not that you're felon. I don't think you're felon, but it's like.
I was gonna say that doesn't sound like a felon saying that.
No, it does not. You would. I can see you coming up with that saying that. Yeah, tell us. Yeah, what you do like for living live chat? Yeah, I've talked about that with a few people. We may do something like that. I think it might be fun. See, I don't do this channel for a living or anything like that. And so I don't mind doing stuff like that, knowing it's not for everyone. That's okay.
Yeah.
I may or may not be less likely to do something like that if I was trying for 500 subscribers, because I have a very specific mission, right?
Mm-hmm.
But exactly. He's a paralegal, gets away with them constantly. Did you know that Austin went jet skiing with Cody from Whistling Diesel?
I think I saw that somewhere 100 times.
You know, I looked over the world, and I put ads in every major newspaper looking for people who didn't know that. It turns out there were 4.
Oh.
I like to give him a hard time. Those guys are so cool. I like the Junkyard Jet guys. Like getting to hang out with them. Don't get too often, but every now and then Tony will do something with the shop, and I'm down there and I get to see him. So it's cool.
That's one of the great things about being into cars. You meet a lot of characters and end up being.
Oh man! So after the New Year's Eve live, Austin and I took push brooms, and we must have swept half a motorcycle tire out of the shop when Tony did that monster burnout on New Year's Eve. That was Austin and I sweeping that out. That was a lot of fun.
No kidding.
It was after midnight. I'm like, it was just bugging me. I just had to do it.
Good job.
Dakota, you mean to tell me you wouldn't do that anyway?
Nice.
They just legalized permitless carry there. You've had concealed carry, but you have permitless carry, from what I understand.
Where's he at?
Ohio.
Oh, okay.
Which now means a majority of the states no longer require their permits.
Yeah, they did that here in Tennessee too.
Yeah. Well, we would have it by now if not for the recent regime change, but I think we'll get it eventually. I think I think the permit thing is kind of a relic.
Yeah.
Because no criminal is going to get it, so it's really a tax on the people who haven't committed a crime.
Right.
I've got 4 of them. I mean, New Hampshire, Illinois, Virginia, and Pennsylvania.
Is that a reciprocal situation, or you had to get 4 separate licenses?
Well, no, I have reciprocity, but those are for the places I don't.
Okay.
Like, see, I don't have reciprocity with Illinois, and I had New Hampshire because my Virginia permit was not recognized in Georgia, but New Hampshire, a state I had never been to, Georgia recognized theirs. So I know that sounds really weird, but the whole thing is weird. That's just how it works. And it's really, really ridiculous because your driver's license is recognized in all those states.
Right.
But your driver's license is not a political thing, even though a lot more people, are killed in accidents and things like that. It still's not a political thing. So anyway, I don't want to try to figure it out. Maybe we'll figure that out on another live, but I'm just saying. I've gotten lots of paper and lots of background checks and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And no kidding, my Illinois permit for real, official state government ID, and it's a selfie picture.
Really?
Yeah. For real. The picture's a selfie.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's most places.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's the worst thing about, there's about 5 counties that ruin everything here. Correct.
That's most states, right? There's 1 or 2 counties that kind of ruin it for the rest of the state.
There's a lot of places like that. New
Yeah.
York is like that. Most of New York is not Manhattan.
No, I have to tell people I'm from upstate New York because everybody immediately thinks you're from the city, which is why everyone says they're from upstate New York.
If you say you're from New York, they think you were neighbors with Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Mr. Will started his channel for fun in the No Name Nationals. Yeah, exactly. Just have exactly, man. I have plenty. I have a monetized channel, but I have fun. I don't do anything overtly to try to make it difficult, but I just have fun with it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's all kinds of positions here. 2 Hacks lives in the People's Republic of Illinois.
Yeah.
That would never happen. Just saying.
No kidding.
No, you gotta be really on the inside to make that happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I lived in California for a while, in Southern California, and I only knew 1 person with a permit, and it's because he was an ex-sheriff.
Yep. See, that's not the way it's supposed to work. It's not supposed to adopt constitutional carry the day your permit expires. They're supposed to adopt it the day you get your permit.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be the bad luck, right?
Mm-hmm.
New York City has bad everything. They don't. There used to be this barbecue joint that opened up here in town, and it was 1 or 2 that were really bad. And they came from somewhere in New York, and their barbecue was it was like some kind of roast beef from the freezer. It wasn't pulled pork, it wasn't smoked. It was weird. I said, well, this place won't be open long. And it wasn't. It wasn't open a year.
Mm-hmm. I've been there once. They got some good museums if you like that kind of thing.
Well, thank you, Patrick. I think there's a lot of patriots who might vote for me, but as you well know, it has a lot to do with money and connections. There's nothing to do with your principles. I have a friend who's a delegate in the Virginia General Assembly, and man, she thought like a house of fire. She's going to go in and bring all these great ideas to Richmond. I said, it's not about that. And now that she's been there a year, you're right, not about that at all. It's all about who you know and all that stuff.
You know, it's weird. I moved here to Knoxville, and I found out that Kane from the WWE is the mayor of Knox County.
Yes.
He
Clint Jacobs is the mayor. Austin said he had biscuits and gravy in Baltimore and almost fist fought the kitchen staff. When I was taking driver's education, this would have been 1993. The place where I took driver's education was up on top of a hill in Richlands, Virginia. Okay. And I would walk down to the bottom where I would catch my ride because I had to get out of school and go back to school after it was over because it was right in the middle of the day. And while I was waiting one of those days, there was this couple sitting there at the table, and this mountain of a woman and like 3 dudes that looked like the Dillards from the Andy Griffith Show came in with her, and they proceeded to have a big throwdown fight at this table, like throwing food, throwing punches. It was wild.
Good.
Service is rough right now because of all the employment shakeup. You don't have as many tenured employees. It is tough right now. I actually know a restaurateur who essentially went out of business because he got tired of having to keep the place open himself all the time. He was down to just a handful of staff. He'd had as many as 20. He was down to 5. He said nobody wanted to work anymore. And he just finally said, I'm closing shop after 16, 17 years.
It's happening to a lot of people.
It can be really tough. If any business is tough, but where you're dependent on staff like that. I have a pretty good model here because there's 8 of us and we're all commission. So you don't sell, you don't eat, you eat what you kill, and it works great. We never have problems with pay or any of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a problem. Both of those are a problem.
Yeah.
Work ethic is a little harder. At least you can try to do your part for morale. Do the best you can.
Yeah. Yeah, expectations are a little weird nowadays. Hard to keep people happy.
Irish Outlaw says front inner wheel bearings and a starter in a hotel parking lot, and that's it. You know what? I've done a fuel pump, hotel parking lot, all kinds of stuff other places, like a starter in a parts store lot.
Yeah.
I think one of my heroes is a dude who I saw doing a clutch in a Dodge Omni in AutoZone's parking lot once. I thought that was pretty impressive.
It's amazing.
What do you mean off turn? That means we're the same age. Thanks.
Huh.
No, Big Mike, you would get elected. I could see that. You would get elected.
Then you get eaten alive because you're a nice guy.
I'd probably get elected here, to tell you the truth, but I just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Nope.
Seems to be a pretty thankless job.
Any fixes on going deaf in one ear? No, wear your hearing protection. You don't get hearing back.
No. No.
Oh, yeah, Dawn's Valiant. I think it's your 440 Valiant just eats plug wires, doesn't it, because of the routing?
Burning them up.
You know what? I know this may sound like blasphemy, but those little metal sleeves that they put on Chevy Cavaliers might help you a lot. They're just the right size to go over the plug wire boot. And I knew a guy with a big block and a Charger did the same thing, and it helped him tremendously.
Those fiberglass boots seem to work pretty good too. Those woven fiberglass ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, they seem to help a lot.
Irish Outlaw says Memphis has great parts stores and you're extremely protected. Well, that's cool to know. That is good to know. Memphis was quite interesting. What can I say?
Well, I still want to get over there and see Graceland at some point.
I'd like to explore Memphis a little more.
Yeah.
Don's got insulated sleeves. Yeah. Let me know how well they work. That's an interesting test. I'd like to know how they work for you. Yeah, electric fans. Mr. Will, good night, man. Thanks for joining us.
Will, thanks for everything.
And by the way, 2 axes remind me, Mopar Man 78's in there. I've seen him lurking. So,
Yeah.
Mopar Man 78, I know that you've been making strides on your parts. Are you planning on bringing the Dart to Sykeston, or are you bringing the truck? Or do you know yet? They're going for Carlisle. Cool. I'll be seeing Don here in 30 days. Horses might be more powerful now, better feeds and veterinary care, quite possibly.
Yeah. I'm not sure the original horsepower calculation was based on the scientific pull of a horse, more of an estimate, I think.
I can imagine, Mike. I can imagine.
Yeah.
I have a lot of respect for Big Mike.
Yeah. Well, if you only speak loud when you need to, then people hear you more.
Well, you know, Daddy's Money Garage, he's asking, wondering if it would be legal for me to put an actual horse on a dyno. Virginia Tech has a treadmill designed for horses.
Yeah.
So that you can test a horse's performance, you know, and all their vitals and stuff on a treadmill. Later, Roy boy.
Night, Roy.
Your Fiddler had Malibus and Pintos and such. If any of your parents have a manual transmission car, you want your kids to learn how to drive one. I learned to drive on an 85 Ford Escort with a 4-speed manual steering, no air conditioning.
Same here as a stick shift Cavalier for me.
Yep. And learning how to work that clutch, I had a few fails, and then I did a monster burnout. And then I had to back up and find the happy medium. It worked.
I love sticks. It's just they're hard to find now.
I think I foobarred my first clutch when I was about 11 or 12. Actually, Dan, no, I did not. It was a really cheap, horrible clutch.
Both of those things happened with my first car, a Duster. One, my buddy ripped the pistol grip shifter right out of the floor, teaching me how to power shift. Ooh. So I got a Hearst after that. And then I smoked my clutch racing the GTO the first night I had my Duster. I thought I was spinning the back tires until I smelled it. I just revved it to the moon and held it there while the clutch just slipped.
It happens.
It did.
That's the only way I'm getting on a treadmill. Yeah, if you're on a horse that's on the treadmill. Clydesdale's got to make more torque than horsepower. Well, actually, Dakota, they make 1 horsepower, kind of by definition, don't they?
Technically, yeah.
Yeah. Now, the question is, how much turning force does a Clydesdale make?
There you go.
Yeah. So a buddy of mine was taking a class. It was like a pre-employment class for work over here at Volvo, which is the heavy truck place. So most of the Volvos in this country are built right down the road from me in Dublin, Virginia.
Oh, cool.
And a buddy of mine was taking a course, and it was a course that they teach at community college on fasteners and things like that. And the teacher asked, "What is torque?" Well, my buddy gets up and goes to the blackboard, and I heard this from a few people. I wasn't in the room, but he goes to the board, and he starts drawing all this stuff and all this explanation. And when he got done with all that, the teacher said, "Well, thank you for your explanation, but that's not correct." And then another student says, "A turning force?" Yes, that's all they wanted. Torque is a turning force. That's it. Yeah. Ironically, he wound up teaching drafting and design at that school after that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Torque is the force of movement. Well, that's an eloquent way to say it.
Yeah, I like that.
Dakota, I'm glad to see you around. You know what? I haven't gotten to do this in forever, but I'm going to put Dakota in timeout. I don't think I've timed Dakota out in forever. Dakota's been timed out for 5 minutes.
Oh, thanks.
Well, Dakota did say, if you can fool people into thinking, that's all that matters. On YouTube, you are exactly right. There are people who make a living on YouTube fooling people into believing they know something.
If you say it with enough authority.
Man, let me tell you, when they get out the whiteboard, they know.
Yeah. No, I'll tell everyone up front, I don't know anything. Thanks, Ruben.
Altur says he's bummed that he can't afford to go to the No Name Nationals. I wish it was a West Coast event. You know what, though? Here's the thing. If you had it on the West Coast, you'd have even more. There's a lot more East Coast folks than West Coast folks than we have in the center of the country. So it's just, we needed to have one place where all the channels could meet. And this is it. Not one place where all the channels in one half of the country can meet. Not one place where all the channels in the other half of the country can meet. And we found one place that has people coming from 3 different countries. So It's a long drive for everybody. I didn't make it easy on myself. It's 12 hours of just driving for me. It will take, I'm going to do it over 2 days to break it up. I didn't make it easy on myself either. We picked the farthest west track that the AHRA sanctioned. And we wanted to work with that sanctioning relationship. See, we have a deal because of that let us work with that track. And the track has great facilities. It's a really nice track. It's well prepared, nice facilities. It's got shower houses, the 660 saloon. It really has what we need for this event. But geography, everything worked out for it.
Nice. Well, I'm 6.5 hours away, John, if you want to park your truck here overnight.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, I'm going to be coming through halfway like that. So that works out. I'll probably bring in the van.
Yeah. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, Big Mike's got the same problem I do, I think, with the die cast.
Yes. Yes. I like his giveaways. That's really cool of him.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't think about doing a giveaway for 1,000 subs.
And his offer to Cabral still stands. So those of you who haven't seen it, Austin from Daddy's Money Garage, and I tried to sweeten the pot a little bit. Austin is providing a first-class ticket for Uncle Tony's Garage favorite troll, Brian Cabral, to fly him first class to and from Sykeston. Basically, we're taking care of him. He can get a ride, everything he needs to get here without spending any money. And I'm going to let him, if he wants to come in, he'll get VIP admission and he'll get to go into the tower and he can take a shift as an announcer. And all of the trash he talks on his channel, he can talk from the tower. How much fun is that, right?
So he hasn't taken him up on the offer yet?
No, he hasn't. I don't know why not.
Has he responded at all to it?
He lives to troll Uncle Tony's Garage. I mean, that seems like his purpose in life. It's all he's done for the last 2 years of his life. You'd think he would love this, but he hasn't. He hasn't taken it. Don English says church on Sunday. There's a church next door.
Hey, thanks, Dizzy Izzy.
Yep. Dizzy says he's 1,002. Well, Dizzy, how would you know you're 1,002 when it counts in tens? Surely you're not at 1,020, are you, Clint?
Let me see.
That'd be pretty wild.
That would be pretty wild. Where'd my mouse go? There it is.
I don't know. Now I want to look. Check
1020.
Are you 1,020?
Thank you.
You're at 1.02, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Dizzy, he's not 1,002. That's 1,020.
Yeah, you're number 1,020. Thank you.
Man, you've gotten.
That's 20 from this one live alone.
Yeah.
Guy, thank you.
Used to be we get 20 some on the live. Now we got 20 some on the live and 20 some before the live.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Well, Auto Salvage Outlaws is saying 1,003. And Buck Does It says 1,010. So what are you showing real time in your studio?
Let me go to my studio. I'm showing hang on a sec.
If you go to your studio and refresh it, that'll give an exact number.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. When I go to switch accounts, it tells me 1020, but let me go to the studio. 1020.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what, Big Mike? It's funny because Cabral used to get on my nerves, and now I realize that he's actually just an enormous fan of Uncle Tony's Garage, and he likes what we're doing. And if he would actually come out and show up and meet us, I think he would have a great time.
Yeah,
I don't know that he would admit it, but I'm sure he'd have a great time. And no one wants to like slug him or anything. I think he would have a good time. But see, then it would make it a lot harder to disparage us on the channel. So
yeah. Thanks, Tim. Yeah, that's the thing. He does have an image to uphold.
Right. Yeah, man. Yeah, Buzz is saying 1,020.
Yeah.
Buck shows 1,020. Yeah, man. And his content is worth it. Clint's doing good stuff over there. I dig the mini truck thing and the S10 build and the Mopar. I love the Mopar thing. I'll tell you something I want to do at Carlisle. I'll just tell you I want to do it at Carlisle. And I think Clint should do it too. Be able to record some of the reactions of car show people to you putting the Mopar in there.
Yeah.
Like
What
the
if
white New Balance and Hawaiian shirt with the hat with the make of the car on it, people, they're
yeah.
not going to approve of that at all.
Oh, there's gonna be a lot of people upset.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And
Yeah,
NSB says they'll take him for a ride in the rickshaw.
there you
Okay,
go.
so NSB, Andy, I'm hoping that you guys get your schedules together because Andy wants to come see you. I'm sending my own personal tech inspector, Andy Wood, to make sure that rickshaw passes AHRA tech.
Nice. Nice.
You know, I'll tell you what, considering his sense of humor, he really should have a hearse. I think it would fit him perfectly. It really would. And then he could make channel content on the hearse and see, and he could just have so much fun because he's a funny guy. He would have much more fun, I think, as a normal participant and a community player than a troll if he'd let himself. And I know some of his cronies watch my stuff, so they're all rushing to tell him right now. Dust Devil, what's happening?
Hey, Dust Devil.
The Wrench, what's going on, man? Looking forward to more content from you. I was checking around on your channel. Good stuff.
Yeah, I'll go back through this after we're done here, and I'll hit anybody that I didn't get yet.
Wrench has got some Ford stuff going on over there.
Okay.
Well, cool.
Very cool.
Tell him that you didn't try to hide anything on the rickshaw at Tech. Cletus Atkins is saying, John, drive up the Carlisle, revving up the engine like crazy and get out of the way wearing overalls and no shirt and shoes. Not really my style, but I'll be there. And I'm sure I will be bringing something that management will probably not approve of. So we'll see how it goes. Later, Big Mike.
Mike, thank you.
Can you believe, Clint, that we're past the hour mark?
Oh wow, we are. Okay.
Seriously, I mean, time just flies. You hang out
Really
with folks.
Here we are.
See, we haven't had to do any business tonight.
No.
It's all just been hanging out, and
Yeah, well, yeah, we got to the 1,000 before we even started.
No kidding.
Yeah.
My ratio with the No Name Nationals, Ruben, is probably 150 to 1. That's probably my ratio.
That's how you know you made it, is when you've got a dedicated troll, right?
Yeah. Danny Boyd's got a 77 F-150. I did some floor pans in a 76 F-100, and I cannot believe that video just keeps getting views.
Really?
Apparently, there are people continuously looking for cab mounts and floor pan repairs on an F-150 or F-100.
That's good, though. I like making that kind of content, stuff that'll be helping people for years.
I enjoy it. I just don't get to do as much of it as I used to. Been so busy with other stuff.
I don't have time to do anything with this No Name Nationals.
John Cope, he's got brand new wipers on a busted windshield. Glad you're here, man.
That's from Christine.
Yeah, right. I'm wanting to see Cope's newest video, 46.7 8RE. I'm wanting to watch that one. I haven't got a chance yet.
I came across him when I was looking for adapters for my Mopar to GM transmission.
I want to have Cope on another live sometime. Just do a weird, odd hour social live. So let's do it sometime when you want to, John. Sound like a plan? We had a great live here a few months ago. I'd like to do it again.
Cool. Yeah, I'd like to see that. I dropped my floor pans. Yeah,
Dizzy, it wouldn't hurt your sub count.
I'd do one, but my car's in a million pieces.
Yeah, man. You know what? If we don't have anything going on Wednesday, do you want to do a late night Wednesday, just social and something? Whatever. It'd be fun. I've got so many people, so many great guests coming in for Fridays that I'm trying to not overlap people who've been on before, unless, of course, there was some overriding reason. So this late night Wednesday thing works pretty good because I don't think anybody else is live on really late on Wednesdays like this. Yep. Cope is cool. Cope is cool. He gets it. He's one of us. He just happens to make really cool transmission parts too. Well, he's one of us, except he knows more about transmissions than most of us do. But that's a wonderful thing about this event is that the participants obviously are all YouTubers. Okay. We all make content. We all do this, but so are the announcers. So are the sponsors. Everybody, the people making the signs, everybody associated with this event, probably except the people working the gates and concession stands, are YouTubers.
Yeah.
So we have really, truly kept it all in the community.
It's an awesome event. The whole idea behind it is just brilliant. I'm glad you guys came up with it.
This guy's super humble, but he's a humble guy, but he's really smart. I enjoy his content a lot.
Yeah.
Cletus, I hope so. I'd like to hear back from Derek on it. I've not leaned on him. What I'm saying is, if you guys want to see him there, you should say it. If you're viewers of Vice Script Garage, go ask Derek, hey man, what are you bringing to the No Name Nationals?
Yeah, it's a good idea.
All right, John Cope, Dizzy Izzy wants to see it.
I want to see it.
I don't normally do. I'll just shoot, man. Let's look at the calendar right now. John Cope, if you want to, on the 22nd, a week from today, right after Tony's live at 10, you want to go live, we'll do it.
Yeah, I got to get back over to his website. I forget what I was over there for, but I still got to come up with a solution for that.
Zero G says, been a rough few weeks. Not sure if he'll make it. Yeah, I hear you, man. It's going to be tough for a lot of people. It really will. But the good news is if you make a run at it the first year and it doesn't work out, the odds are overwhelming that we will do it again. Yep. All right. John Cope says he's in. So a week from tonight, after Tony's live, 10 Eastern, 9 Central, John Cope and I will go live for a hangout roundtable. How's that? If that sounds good with you, Mr. Cope, we'll do it. We'll book it, and that'll be a blast.
Thanks, Punisher. I like that car of yours.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that cool?
It is cool.
You can't mistake it with that grill he's got in there.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. Ruben from Muscle City Madness says he had a problem with his transmission and told him how to fix it. How cool is that, Ruben? How is that? What was wrong with it? What was the deal?
You know, JB's little shop's having an issue with his transmission right now, too. Curious to see where he ends up on that.
Yeah, I've been looking at that. I can see he's got that case down the thumbnail. I haven't clicked on the video yet. No, Brock should not be reading from a teleprompter. Are you kidding me? How could you get all that stuff on a teleprompter? Why do you have to have a bolt-in sprag, Dust Devil? Just do your burnout in second gear. You don't have to kill it. But if you will, and listen, I get no kickback, nothing, no sponsor affiliation, nothing. But if you need 727 parts, Cope is the place to get them. Because it's not just like parts. There's just decades and decades of knowledge. So not only do you get parts, you get the right parts, and you get parts someone's willing to put their name on, and they race stuff too. So all of those things that create doubt in the marketplace, you don't have when you deal with Cope. No kickbacks whatsoever here. I'm just telling you, that's a lot of good reasons to do business there. And he's a member of our community, a legit member of the community. There's no check in the mail. No, it's going the other way, actually. When I get to the place to do my 999, I want to get the 600 horsepower kit from Cope.
Nice. Yeah, nice thing about a guy like him is you don't waste money on parts you don't need.
Well, yeah, but yeah, exactly. No, I like doing business with members of our community. We got members of our community who do everything, so it works out really well. He sheared the pump pins off.
Mm.
Yep. Well, see, Ruben learned that one, and there you go.
Yeah.
Well, what's this auteur said here? We need Derek, Kevin and Mook, Dylan McCool, Sleeper Dude, Thunderhead 289. One or more of those people has already told me verbally they're coming, and we just have to. But you know, things happen and all this. But one or more of those people has told me they're coming. So, what I would say is, if you watch those channels, tell them it needs to come from the viewers. Because coming from me, I'm a race promoter. Obviously, I have a bias. I am not in this for any money. If there's anything left over after we pay all of the bills, it's going to live in the No Name Nationals bank account until the second running of it, so that we can do even more the next time. That's the idea. But coming from me, coming from you guys collectively, that's who needs to be telling.
Yep. Yeah, that'll get it done. Like most little parts.
I've actually driven one with a sprag delete or a broken sprag. Yeah. Brian's building a real life Hot Wheels. Yeah, certainly. Invite him. Invite him. Who knows? Maybe there'll be something for him to run over.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's certainly welcome. You know, one big thing though that we've done with this event that's I think been the right move is we have said from the beginning, we just want people who are part of our community and who get it, right?
Yeah.
And it makes the field a little smaller. We could have more people there, but when you have people who are philosophically aligned with what we're doing, it just makes it so much better. And what I've found is that people either get it and they get it instantly, or they don't get it at all.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's just been that way. But we have an enormous number of people who are registered, coming to it, excited, and everything.
I love what the AHRA is doing, because the NHRA, for example, hasn't been grassroots in decades. You know?
These YouTube guys me like meeting the cast of Game of Thrones or the Kardashians are a normal fanboy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So John Cope got here a little late. Tell them what you're running, vehicle and engine and transmission.
Okay, John, I've got a 89 S10 pickup, long bed. It's a Survivor, so I'm not painting it or anything, but I've got a B engine 400 Chrysler going into it. I'm putting a 700 R4 behind it that I've gone through, and that's going into a Ford 9-inch, and I'm trying to get all this into a custom frame and get it on a rolling chassis by the time we go to the No Name Nationals. That's in a nutshell.
Who would you be nervous to talk to, Dr. Fiddler?
I've talked to Jay Leno a couple times because I lived in Burbank for a while, and
yeah,
we'll talk to anyone who will listen about cars.
That's cool. I hear that. I hear that he's really cool like that with cars.
Well, I was working at Auto Parts, and he came in, and he literally went around the whole counter and talked to everyone about why they were there, what they were buying, and what they were working on.
Cool. I like that.
That was awesome.
I like that. Yeah, I hear such good things about him.
Yeah, he really is a car guy.
That's what people say. He's legit. And well, he obviously is. Look at his collection and how he goes about it.
Yeah, no kidding.
People who aren't real car guys, it's easy to spot. He is legit.
Well, his oddball collection is the proof, just the obscure stuff that he has.
Daddy's Money, Dust Devil goes on right after me. So I'm live 7 to 9 on Friday, and Dust Devil goes on live after I do. And I'll know by tomorrow whether or not you can be on the 24th. I'd like to get you guys on. Also, I've been talking about it.
See the wrench there? I have the 4060 pucks, all the I did this a couple of years ago, 5 years ago. I think I built that transmission, but it's still in perfect condition. It's completely upgraded. The beast sun shell, different boost valves. I went through everything on that thing, and it's got a lot of 4L60 parts in it.
Definitely the way to go there.
Yeah.
I'd be nervous to talk to all the top YouTube car guys on the list.
Yeah.
Okay.
No kidding.
Yeah, Dust Devil goes on. We shut down on time, and I'm happy to tell people that Brian's going on after me. And Brian runs a good show.
Yeah, I've caught him a couple times actually.
He's got his weird hour. He's got his own. He's got a good show.
Friday nights are tough for me because it's usually date night.
Yeah. Everybody's got times at work, times that don't, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. And I'm usually trying to get
I'd like to meet David Vizor. David Vizor, provided he's, his health is good, he intends to be there. I've actually got a calling to him right now. We're trying to work on something right now. So I'll know more when I get in touch with him. But Vizor should be there.
Cool. Love that guy.
He wants to be.
John, what is he saying?
Cope says I have killer 700 input drums on my website. It's the only non-Mopar part I carry. Well, that's interesting.
I'll check them out. I'm trying not to open that thing back up, but
yeah. No kidding. A good working transmission is something you just,
Yeah, it was the first transmission I ever rebuilt, and it's held up for 5 years of abuse, and it's just perfect. So I'm afraid to take it apart and mess it up.
Right. Vizard is the most underrated YouTuber car guy I've ever seen. Possibly. He only has 22,000 subscribers, and the knowledge he gives away for free is incredible.
Yeah. No, he knows what he's talking about. There's just so many good channels on YouTube, though, people that know what they're talking about. So much information.
Cletus is saying, why is his name not bigger than those guys, the Motor Trend guys? Well, because most people like to buy sponsor parts as a replacement for understanding porting.
Yeah.
That's why. That's exactly why.
It's understandable. I mean, most people don't have the time to really get in the weeds, so to speak, with their cars, and they just, they'd rather earn a good living and pay for it.
Well,
it's not me.
Vizard took a double hump Chevy head, a regular iron production head, and did some port work, and he made it outflow and out of the box AFR.
Nice.
Really, just with port work.
Yeah.
And the thing is if you want to do class racing and you're required to run a production iron head, that knowledge is invaluable because you can't buy a head. You have to be able to do that.
Yep.
You automatic transmission guys are wizards like carb guys. Cope is a transmission wizard.
Yeah.
I am a hack. I've done probably on the order of about 14 transmissions, and I've only had one that didn't do what it was supposed to do when I put it back together, ever. 1.5. When I was in community college building a manual, we did a Volkswagen Beetle transmission, and we put the differential in the case on the wrong side, and you had 4 reverses and 1 forward. So I was working with him on that, so that's the half. So I've had 1.5 transmissions not do what they're supposed to. But like I said, I built 14, which is not like 1 or 2, but it's not like hundreds and hundreds.
Yeah. I will say this about David Freiberg, because I've known him for a lot of years, kind of. We have a mutual friend, but I've met him several times. He is a super nice guy, no matter what you think about his public persona. Like in person, he's just the nicest guy ever. And he's not comfortable with being famous either, let me tell you. He doesn't like it.
Well, everybody has to have a little bit of a character to be on video to some extent.
Yeah, you got a director telling you what to do. That's going to happen.
Makes some sense.
Yeah.
Doctor's asking, should we have a suspension on ethanol mandates during the food and gas shortage? Should we be excused from needing catalytic converters during the crime wave of thefts? Well, what do you mean excused from needing them? I mean, you either have them or you don't. You either protect them or you don't. I think that's kind of a tough way to do that. I think we should just fix the problem. So Diana here.
Oh, that's my mom.
I was going to say, tell us who this character is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to watch that video of Copes.
Yeah, I'm going to check out a lot more of his stuff.
Don English did 727 built sometime. Yeah, done a few of those. Ruben says he's met all the duct tape drags guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. J. That looks familiar. I've not seen that name pop up before.
Oh, he's one of my regulars. I've known him for a lot of years. Welcome.
Cool.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
833s are indeed strong transmissions.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they are. I like the top loader Ford. A buddy of mine used to race them, and I'd work in his shop sometimes and did a lot of case prep and gear prep and all for the top loader Fords. I like that design a lot. It's very tough.
Being a top loader, is it easier to work on?
Yeah, they're a little bit different to assemble, but you don't have the forks in the cover on the side.
Oh, okay.
The forks actually go into the case, and then the cover's a blank plate.
Oh, nice.
And he ran them behind 1,000 horsepower.
Wow.
Yep.
Man.
Some of the guts inside were Liberty, but I know the output shaft was stock. The cases were stock.
Man, yeah, that's amazing.
And he would run a long tail shaft. He didn't run the short output shaft.
Yeah,
it can be expensive when a converter gets stolen. Yes, it can. Mopar Man 1978. I won't say that a lot of that doesn't happen here. Guts get knocked out of converters. I know when they go bad and break down, they will clog the exhaust.
Yep.
Yeah, Austin here only wants to find a 4L60E that has only one neutral. That is correct. Yeah.
Well, I got my truck cheap because the transmission had been freshly rebuilt and blue again.
Yeah, a buddy of mine, when his $700 Ford got its second neutral, it got its first T56. Problem solved.
Yeah, 700s have a terrible reputation.
Well, I don't know what it is about them, but they just toast the high gear clutches, and they're just disposable. They're not very tough.
Mine was an absolute mess when I took it apart. I couldn't believe how bad everything had come apart inside of it. But everything's got a fix, so it's been good since.
And that's the important part of it. I mean, because if you can fix the weak spots, they might be just great. And sounds like you have. I know that the people who don't like the 904 Chrysler are the people who've never really gotten into one and done what they needed to do.
Yeah.
My 904 runs 11 clutches. It holds. It works.
Yeah. Well, back when I was young, everybody was real quick to dismiss the weaker parts because you could still easily get the stronger parts at the junkyards. So nobody bothered with 904s or any of that stuff, or small blocks even. You just go to the junkyard, get a big block and a 727 for a few bucks.
Yeah.
I think
times have changed. That finding big blocks in the junkyard stuff is over.
It's gone.
Oh, Big Richard is under the Roadrunner. I hope we get video of that. Zero G likes our wall art. Tell them about your wall art there, Clint.
What's that? Oh, it's just usual man cave stuff. We got the back window from my S10 sitting here. until it goes back in. Of course, have to have the car's album cover with the 340 Duster on it. Got to have that. And then we got an old Suntac over here. We got 1979 Raleigh Rampart BMX bike. It's just some cool stuff I picked up along the way. But I think Hoosier Garage needs these things. Brand new pair of fog lights from Kmart, circa 1980-ish.
Neat.
I've been
That
saving
sounds
those.
like something Hoosier Garage Adam would do.
He kind of needs those on that van. I bought them for my van. I don't have it anymore.
Adam is right out of 1980.
Yeah.
Like right out of 19, everything. He is really cool. He is an old soul and a cool guy.
Well, you were talking about era correct vehicles. You know, there's a guy.
Yes. Yeah, he gets it. He gets it.
Yeah.
I like him a lot. He's the kind of guy that you would expect to see just walking through the background at Fast Times from Ridgemont High. He would just fit right in.
It did. Your phone's older than mine, John.
Yeah. Well, this phone is not all that old. That was my grandparents' phone.
Was it? Oh, it's a real one?
This is the one Just Mopar Joe calls me on. If you haven't seen that video, you should watch it. It's on Joe's channel, the Mopar Roll Call.
I saw that. Yeah, I should check it out.
LKQ raised the parts. Now, any engine is 650. Well, it depends what the engine is. Could be a deal.
Man.
Daddy's Money Garage. I replaced my speedometer cable today. You could say I'm ASE certified. I would say there are ASE certified guys now who've never changed a speedometer cable because when they went through school, they probably never worked on a car that had one.
Yeah.
I took that whole program in 2001, and literally all they told us about a carburetor is they passed one around and said, look at this. You're never going to have to work on one, but we want you to see it. That's all we did with a carburetor, for real.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh, yes. I had an ASE certification briefly as a part sales.
Mm-hmm.
They have a certification for that, but
cool.
It was just paperwork. It wasn't, they didn't have any real world testing or anything like that.
No, I never wanted to work in the field. I wanted to just learn stuff. And I learned what I learned the most about doing that program was electricity. I probably gained the most in electricity. I gained in everything. You know, there's always stuff you can learn, always.
Yeah.
But I probably, in any one category, I probably picked up the most when it comes to electricity.
Yeah.
Streetcar Chronicles in the house.
Hello.
How you doing? Hey Ryan, when are you going to call me?
Yeah, there you go. Dizzy's got a 904.
The 904 is my favorite Chrysler probably my favorite transmission, period, is a 904.
Yeah. Well, they eat a lot less horsepower in the 727, don't they?
They do. They're less to turn. If Cope's still hanging around, he could probably give us a figure on it. But yeah, they're less to turn. They're basically a scaled down 727. There are a few changes. And yes, I'm aware of the changes. The purists will remind me there are differences, but not many. For the most part, it's just a scaled down 727.
Okay.
The valve body is the same. The front drum is a little different, especially the spring arrangement. There are some differences. The servo for second gear is a little bigger, bumps out on the side of the case, which is how you ID them, the easiest way to ID them. But basically, same transmission. Well, first of all, any book or manual you get always covers both. That tells you a lot right there.
Are they physically lighter?
Yeah, a little bit. But where you really save the weight is in the rotating weight.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's a lot less to turn. I'm a big 904 fan.
Yeah, I've never had one. I've had I didn't have a 727. I just had a 4-speed.
My favorite is a 999. And you can get those out of a Dakota or a D150, late 80s, early 90s.
Mm.
And that, to me, is the peak of the mountain.
Is that an overdrive or 3-speed?
It's a 3-speed, but it's got a reinforced case, has the deeper drums. Oh, actually, what I really like is when you can find a crapped out A500 overdrive, because it's got all the good stuff. It's got the deep pan, it's got the deeper drums, and then you use those guts in the 904.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Does it make it an overdrive, or you leave that part out?
No, it just makes it a lot tougher. The 500 is an overdrive.
Right.
Yeah, and you can build the overdrives.
Hmm.
A lot of people run the A518. It's the
Yeah.
727 version of the overdrive, the 518.
I was looking at all those, but they all came behind small blocks, so I got to still
Well,
adapt.
Cope sells an adapter for one for $795,
Yeah,
and it'll adapt you right up.
that's what I paid for the adapter to the 700.
Or you can do like an Ultra Bell.
Yeah,
So you can use those options.
I like that Ultra Bell. I haven't ever used one, but it looks like a good idea.
Yeah, they work. They work. Yeah, if you dropped him off in 1980, he'd be a car doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bad thing about being a car doctor in 1980 is look at all the bad stuff there is to come.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that was a pretty close to when GM came out with the aluminum wire to the tail lights, you know? And that's when engine bays started getting all those vacuum hoses. In fact, the carburetors from the 80s are the worst.
That whole transitional period from carburetors to fuel
Yeah.
injection is just a mess.
I would rather be a mechanic 10 years earlier or later than that, actually.
Yeah.
Because the first fuel injected vehicles weren't that bad. You could still see them and get to things.
Mm-hmm. Even that little S10 of mine was a throttle body injected.
Right. Mr. Will was saying that he has a Torino with a 351 Cleveland and a GM throttle body on it.
Hmm.
I don't know if I could look at that or not if he showed it in the video. I mean, he says it's a nice, reliable system, and I can certainly see that.
Huh.
But the purist in me just cringes at the idea of putting a GM throttle body on a 351 Cleveland.
I love that kind of stuff, obviously.
Yeah, well, it takes a lot of skill to do it, and you're doing stuff that not everybody does. I think it'd be a good video for him to do, actually.
Oh yeah. I mean, what a learning experience that would be, because you'd have to figure it all out for yourself.
I was mowing grass today and thinking of a video idea that I have for something I might want to do with a lawnmower. We'll see.
Yeah.
But I'll do it later in the season, but it might need to happen. We'll find out. 65 built 727. They made only 2 convert. Yeah, that's right between the ball and trunnion and the regular output, I believe.
I'm kidding.
Auto Salvage Outlaw says, I added a video I thought was 1 hour long, somehow cut it to 9 minutes. Okay. There you go. I'm not sure.
Oh, I've been in those situations. 3 hour video, cutting it down to 9 or 10 minutes.
Yeah. If I had an hour of video, I would probably cut it into pieces, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the input shaft spline count, right? There was like a 23 and a 24 or something like that.
Okay.
Right. Correct. Ruben from Muscle City, man, it's like the 80s because you had no seat belts. Mom was smoking, and me and my brother stood up through the sunroof on the way to school every day. Yeah.
Yeah.
The 80s were just like that. I never wore a seatbelt in the 80s. Never. Never one. I mean, I did not start wearing the seatbelt until I had to for driver's ed. And I didn't complain. It was just something we had to do, but I was not used to it. I never did it till then. And back then, it wasn't an offense either.
Mm-mm.
19. Okay, if that's your spline, if Cope's saying that's a spline count, that's what it is. I'm just not sure. I knew they changed something in there. A 19 and a 24. Well, there you go. There you go. I knew it was something a little different.
It was like that with that 700 when I was looking at it. They changed spline counts. They changed a lot of parts throughout the run because they kept trying to fix it at the factory, I guess.
Justin's saying his is a 19. They changed to 24. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. How does Salad Jalal say I used to be one not wear a seatbelt, but now it goes on? Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Actually, I got stopped when I first moved to New River Valley in 1996. I got stopped by a cop here, and it was funny. I'd never been stopped before in my life. I would have been 18 years old, and I'm in my 1970 Dart Swinger, and I'm in the middle of town. This cop pulls up next to me, and I go down the block, and then he just backs off. Then he gets in behind me. I'm like, okay, he's going to stop me. Sure enough, blue lights went on. He was driving the first of the newer, that last body style of Crown Victoria. He was driving the first one of those I'd ever seen. He pulls me over. Now, I've got a big six-pack scoop on, which arguably is not legal in Virginia. I have a decal on the windshield, which arguably is not legal in Virginia. Had no seatbelt, tinted license plate covers. I can't vouch for how legit the inspection sticker was. Anyway, he walks up to the car and said, this is tell you how long ago this has been. He said, I just wanted to check out the car. For real. I'm serious. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't think a cop could do that now with body cameras and stuff.
No.
Or they would be so afraid that a motorist would, cause them problems and all. But that's when all that stuff didn't happen, right?
Yeah.
He walks up the window and he just says, I just want to check out your car. He didn't take my license, registration, run warrants, nothing. He just asked me about it and just cut me loose.
Yeah, there were still police officers in the 80s that would follow you home if you were drunk. Just make sure you made it.
Yeah.
It was
he stopped me to see the car. He hadn't seen the car yet.
Yeah.
Because I had just moved there.
Oh,
so he
right.
probably had seen it running around, and this was his first opportunity to look at it.
Yep.
He's retired now, but I found out later that he stopped a lot of cool old cars just to look at them.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
He was known for that. He's retired now.
Huh.
I don't think a cop could do that now. Somebody would have some kind of grievance, some protocol.
Oh, yeah.
There's some reason that wouldn't happen, but he sure did.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a different time.
I've been wearing seatbelts ever since I rolled a truck without a seatbelt on.
Yeah.
I have not done anything without a seatbelt since.
I bet there were a dozen things he could have written me some kind of ticket for improper equipment on that car. Probably.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But he didn't care.
I learned working in speed shops. A lot of police officers have hot rods at home.
I had a cop one time. I was in a convenience store. I'm in line. I come out, and there was a cop out there measuring my hood scoop.
Oh, no.
And this was in Bluefield, West Virginia. And I'm like, what is this, right? I walk up to him. He says, this your car? And I'm thinking, well, if it wasn't my car, you think I'd be walking up to you? But anyway, I didn't say it. Yeah, it's my car. He said, you want to sell it? Like, no, I don't think so, man. And then leaving the lot, he wanted me to light them up and do a big monster burnout. Like, I'm doing that.
Yeah, no.
Got uniformed police officer, smoking man.
Yeah,
can't make this stuff up. That was before I moved. That would have been okay, if I had that hood on it, it would have been 1995. I had that hood on it a year before I moved. And that was Bluefield, West Virginia. And considering that it was 27 years ago, I'm sure he's retired by now. So I can say that. Could you imagine a cop doing that today?
No.
Gosh.
Yeah, 95 is about when all that ended.
Yeah, that's when yeah, right.
It's kind of when the 80s finally died.
Right. Stuff was changing after that. My dad and I were in Bland County, and this state cop goes flying by us, pulls up right next to us, looks right over, flicks the blue lights. Just like that. My dad said, yeah, I went to high school with him. Off he went. They weren't like this Gestapo of law enforcement back then.
Right.
They were police officers and they were members of your community, and I mean, that time is gone.
Yeah.
It has really changed, and not for the better.
No.
Artur says, yeah, he worked at the speed shop. Let me tell you, they had some good ads, didn't they? Their advertising was second to none.
Yeah, I've even heard of them.
Okay, Ruben has a great question for you here. Can you grab your favorite Matchbox car behind you and show us real quick?
Jeez, if I had a favorite, I wouldn't have so many. You're going to be surprised. Maybe this one is one of them. A Toyota Corolla. Where's my camera? There it is.
Where's Scotty Kilmer?
I did a brief stint with imports.
Cool.
And that's about as classic as the imports get, as those Corollas. But no, I kind of like way too many cars, even in Hot Wheels. So I don't have a favorite. If it's got an engine and wheels, I love it.
Well, tell you what, if any of you guys got any last things you have for Clint, now's the time to ask them. I think we'll wrap up here in a little bit. Can you believe we've been on for an hour 40? It's just kind of flown by.
Actually. But if we're going to talk favorite cars, though, Ruben, Charger 500.
Ooh.
Fastback window, flush grill. That's probably one of my favorite muscle cars of all time.
The Charger 500 is the one that the GM and Ford guys don't know about.
Yeah.
I like those. I like them a lot. I like them better than the Daytona, personally.
Yeah, because they don't look quite as goofy. Yeah, they look like a real car. Well, if anybody else?
Yes, Zero G. Been there and done that. Vinyl seats. Those are the vinyl bench seats. Those were the days. Danny Boyd, Lunar is bringing a Supra. He's testing with it right now.
Is that a 2J Supra, or has it got a V8 in it?
It's got a V8 in it.
Okay.
And we've got an LS powered Datsun. And we have a inline Chevy 6-cylinder Datsun that's probably going to be running low 5s, high 4s.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a point in the 90s and late 80s where everyone was putting big blocks in 240Zs and taking them to the track.
Yeah. Yeah, it was different. And it was kind of the alternative to doing an Opel.
Exactly. Yeah, it was the same size and weight and all that.
Yep. I'll tell you what, we're right on midnight here in the East, or a couple minutes before, so I'll just wrap up.
Yeah.
I think any of my mods that are hanging around, I know Andy's in Florida and Joe's probably in bed and Blake may be somewhere, and Fubar the Axe is always working, and Buzz was here earlier, but everything went good, and I want to thank all the mods. And you have anything you want to plug, Clint?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to everybody. I really appreciate the support you guys showed me all along, ever since day one, actually. I really appreciate it. Great community. Like all you guys, man. Love your channels too. All you no-name guys. Having a good time watching your stuff when I get the chance.
I'll tell you what. I love the community. It's been great. I'll just real quick before I bolt out of here. Dallas and I will be live on Friday. We've got a big announcement for Friday, and then the following Wednesday night, late night, we'll have a little social hour with John Cope Racing Transmissions, just to hang out and talk about whatever. So
yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Anyway, we'll see y'all then if you want to come out. How's that?
Cool.
All right, everybody. Y'all have a good evening. Thanks.
Good night, everyone.
See y'all later.
Thanks, John.